Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And welcome to the main quest. This is the main quest, our main topic of the week, if you will. And this week we wanted to discuss a recent Nielsen ratings report that came out in regards to gaming, in regards to what gamers are doing and what gamers know about.
And trends.
Yes.
It was really fun because Nielsen, I question their optics as far as like how they get their information for TV, but I feel like self-reporting on video games is probably a lot stronger, honestly, because that's more something that people think about. And so this is something that they've released every year. This is the 2016 report that we're going to be talking about right now, and we found some interesting stuff in there, and some things that actually caused us to understand that we are actually outliers in some of this. So one of the two things that they talked about as trends to watch and observe coming up were VR and esports.
Yep.
And neither one of us are particularly plugged into either one of those.
What I find really funny about that is I think that you and I are tapped in a lot more than most people. Like you said, we're the outliers. We're people who are tapped in. We talk for hours, literally hours a week, on the video game industry. Being someone who's not working in the industry, I mean, the fact that our brains are probably going 20, 30 hours on the industry itself a week. Yeah, it's like almost a second job. But so let's take those.
I mean, you're the CEO. I'm the president / dictator for life. So
that's true. But
that's a job.
But I got an initialism for my title.
It's
fun.
But mine includes for life, meaning I can't be fired.
You can't be fired, but we can do what we do to what Marvel did to Stan Lee.
You're gonna put me on the circuit, and I'm gonna go to cons forever?
Well,
cool.
They didn't put him on the circuit. They pushed him to the side, and they're like, "You're kind of a figurehead. We'll talk about every now and then."
I'm comfortable being a figurehead, and that is fine.
And we won't take any of your advice to heart, because right now they do not. Like he's been in interviews, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think?" He's like, "I think it's great. They don't ask me questions." So if they ask him, it's more of a writer saying, "What do you think about this?" But top down, they don't care anymore. He did his thing, and now he's the thing. So let's take this kind of separately. So esports, right?
Yes.
Esports, I would agree. Esports has been growing, but the biggest problem with esports is funding. How do you get funding behind something like this when you have the hardcore gamers who are into esports and the really, really hardcore gamers who are playing the esports, the people who are following those, watching it? How do you get the advertisement in there? The funding in there, it's been a problem for quite a while.
One of the issues, and something that was in the report that I found really interesting, is 40% of the people who watch and follow a specific esport don't play the game.
Yeah.
If you can't get people to commit to a free-to-play game, what are you selling them?
It's a growing thing. South Park lampooned it very accurately. It's a growing thing where the younger audience is completely fine with watching a game and not playing it. Some people, depending on the game, may prefer to watch it than play because of money or whatever.
Well, see, but
that's a big figure.
I do have an element of that as far as like I like watching the Telltale style games.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. Yeah,
I have bought half a dozen, and I have never gotten past like maybe a couple minutes into episode 2. Mostly it's I'll get partway through episode 1 and then quit.
Did you see our Guardians playthrough so far?
No, but I have it saved on my phone.
Got a couple episodes into that one, and but here's the other part of so we're talking about the esports part. Let's go back to VR. So VR, in my opinion, we're in the first generation of an acceptable VR in your home that's decent. With the sales figures and everything, I don't think it's been very strong. We haven't had what we need. We need one or two winners, if you will, that everyone adopts for. Right now, we have 6 formats, and they're not easily programmed from one to the other. And I have a problem with that. I think that this is definitely something to watch, but
until standardization comes down, until we figure out which one porn's going to go to, then we don't really know.
So Oculus, I mentioned before, this is my very, very long-term prediction, was that PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR will be the winner overall.
Yeah, because of the low barrier to entry and
Correct.
acceptable quality.
Yes, acceptable quality. So you have other people who are doing the whole put your phone up to the cardboard thing, and it's not there. So
yeah,
I think that I would, if I were a betting man, I would put money on Oculus and PlayStation to be the big ones, and that for Oculus, for Microsoft to tap in solely on Oculus, PlayStation taps in on their own product, obviously. Nintendo may try something, but there's so much bad blood there, they might not.
I really don't feel like they will. The most popular as far as people who were like, oh yeah, I've got one of those, was actually the Samsung Gear, which is that's the slide the phone in, and that is almost exclusively observing virtual reality. And I do like that idea for expansion past video games. I like that video games is where a lot of this is going, but I want to be in the middle of the E3 press conference. Like, I just want them to stick one of those things in, and so that I can be there and watch it, and then switch whenever they do switch.
Whenever they go to the screens.
Whenever they go to the screens, I want that to pop up.
We've talked about museums, concerts would be great to do that at too. If you can switch, like you mentioned, if you give me the option to switch, because sometimes you're watching a concert and you're rocking out, and sometimes you go, oh, I like the camera angle there. Like that, they'll come in. So switch over to whatever the camera is.
The other thing about it is, like, there are musical events that I want to go to. If it's a DJ or something, I want to be in that crowd, like
that's
close to the front as I can get.
Sure.
And I like that. But there are other spectacle concerts, like U2 in particular. And others, I don't know. I don't actually go to these because
I go to a lot
because I don't really want to go to them. But I like the idea of going to a U2 concert and being able to see that kind of spectacle without having to be in a crowd of YouTube fans.
I would
not
like,
against you, but
I'd like it to be a normal thing. Like, and
I would pay for that.
What would be really cool is if you get a specific venue that taps in on this, and then you if someone would tap in on this, it'd be amazing. Where you either have subscription based or however it does it, and then you can watch all the concerts that go through there, and they have multiple cameras that you can swap through. A main camera as if you're sitting in a prime spot.
Right.
Then you can swap if you want to watch the drummer or the keyboard player. They'll have a limited amount of cameras, but if you have say a 5 or 6 camera setup where you can watch the main person singing, you can watch all these other angles. So
I like that.
So then I could watch let's say I want to watch Dave Matthews Band.
Your own director.
Yeah, like I want to watch Dave Matthews Band, and like I can hone in because I can't tell you how many concerts I've been to where they have they have multiple cameras. A lot of concerts do now.
Right.
And they'll go between the different ones, so your camera is always one. Your screen is always one camera, and they'll go between them. And I'll listen, and like at a Dave Matthews concert, Carter Beauford will do something amazing on drums, and they're not panning to him. And they still don't pan to him. And then like there's a drum solo, and they miss like the first 1.5, 2 bars. I'm like, you knew that was coming, right?
That's part of the song.
It's part of the song. Man. And if you don't know, you could switch. If you don't, then whatever. Yeah. So let's go on to some other things the Nielsen ratings talked about. Because my biggest takeaway on this was this was a survey. It was 2,000 people. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, men, women, various ages, and I believe it was 62% said that they are gamers or considered gamers,
right? Because
they have played a game on some type of device within the past year.
Yeah,
which means literally you're if you're playing Bejeweled or if you're playing Candy Crush on here, I'm not discrediting these people, but this is the reason that I don't like this study. You have that going on, and then the of those, 70 or 72%, somewhere around there, said, "Oh, I know what a PlayStation 4 is."
77%.
That's what, yeah.
Said that they had heard
of a
PlayStation 4.
Heard of it.
Right.
Heard of it.
No, if you play video games, you were at least aware of a device that came out 3 years ago.
Yes, you're aware of that. Now, then they talked about the smaller number that knew about the Xbox One Scorpio.
The Scorpio and the PS4 Pro.
PS4 Pro, more people knew about. Makes sense because it's out.
Right.
But the Scorpio, so the numbers on this were pretty small, which
17%.
Yeah.
Which actually, for a code name, that's not bad. I would also be interested. Based on this, I wonder if they had questions related to the NX or Switch, because NX was out there for a long time, and there could be people who don't know that they're the same thing. But I would be really interested in talking to the 22% of people who have never heard of PlayStation 4, because I bet they have stories for me about things that I have never heard of, and I want to know what that is. So what is their world like?
Yeah, I was just looking up, like, cause I remembered you were talking about NX versus Switch before Kinect came out. Kinect was Project Natal.
Yeah.
Right. So that one was very brief, but NX was out there for quite a while.
Yeah.
So there could be there are probably some people that know about it. But you're right. Some people might not realize. Oh, that was the thing.
That's the thing.
That's out. I've literally ran into people like. The average person, normal humans who don't realize, oh, there's a new Nintendo out. Okay, but if so many of these average people don't realize that, but over 60% of people are considered gamers.
Yeah, and that's the thing is for me, I think that gamers should be a self-identifying thing. Like I say that I'm a gamer. I mean, I'm sitting here on a show about games that I've been running for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, objectively gamer.
Yeah.
But I think that there are people who would not necessarily describe themselves as gamers, but when given these specific parameters, will say, I mean, I guess I've played a video game before.
Yeah. Well, Whitney's been playing this farming. It's not Heyday, but it's something like that. She's been playing it on her phone a lot, but at the same time. I consider that like a simulation. It's a casual game, but a gamer, I'd imagine, is someone who plays multiple games and tries to kind of go on. She does. I'm just saying.
As a counterpoint to that, though, like there are people who put hundreds of hours into Angry Birds and into Candy Crush and into whatever the big mobile game is, who don't identify as gamers, and even if it's just the hot mobile game that people are playing right now, I think that's a gamer.
I think it's a gamer. I think that that is a gamer. It's a more casual gamer, which is not to discredit them at all. I think that a lot of times people use the gamer title as a source of pride within the community, and there are also people who see it as a negative. There are. And there are people. No, I'm not a gamer. Anita. And so, but like if you put a lot of time into Hearthstone or whatever, like the platform to me is less important than your interest in it. And if you expand past that to interest in games in general, and what games are happening, I'd agree.
But yeah, there was some very bizarre statistics that came out of this, including 52 to 57%, based on various age ranges, who said that the ability to purchase additional in-game content was, quote, important to them.
Okay. Additional in-game content, to me, it's an open,
DLC or microtransactions, but
that's what I meant. That's an open statement, because when I look at that, I feel like that's an SAT question where I'm being caught they're trying to catch me on something, because I like DLC. I like developers continuing to support a product that I enjoy. If I really enjoy a game and a developer is continuing their process within that game before they come out with whatever the sequel is, or maybe they never come out with a sequel.
Right.
I'm completely fine with that. But in-game purchases of microtransactions no, I don't.
And that was kind kind of going to be my point. Is that DLC I'm in favor of, microtransactions, but I just want to buy the game.
Yeah.
And
I will pay. I will pay for a non-microtransaction.
I can appreciate that this is something that is profitable.
Sure.
But that's not what I'm looking for, and I feel like, and like you were talking about, there's a lot of issues that we have with the survey in general, and the conclusions that companies will come to based on this type of data.
Yeah.
Because the questions are not really specific enough to be able to bring out of that useful statistical data, and I think that it will skew toward information and gaming practices that, whether or not they're profitable, could be pretty bad. So yeah. And then another surprising one, I feel like I have friends who buy mostly physical. Hey, Chris. But I see that as an anomaly.
Yeah. I think...
And the statistic we're about to talk about is that 60+% of people who consider themselves console gamers, or primarily console gamers, 60% or higher buy mostly physical.
Yep.
And that was really weird to me. And then there was 20% of PC gamers who buy physical, and I'm like, where?
I don't understand how that's possible.
I don't get that one.
Last two times I've stopped buying. I've stopped going to a store to buy a game, because the last two times that I went to buy a game, I opened up the box. It didn't have a manual, and it had a Steam key in it.
Yeah.
What did I buy a box for?
Yeah.
I mean, I paid the same price. Sometimes paid more for a box that I threw away. Because some people collect them and everything. And my last one that I purchased was an Elder Scrolls Skyrim Ultimate Edition, and I went because I didn't have it on PC. I went in probably a year and a half ago. Opened it up in the car. I'm one of those people. Opened it up in the car because I was excited, and I opened it up, and I expected something in there. And I got an advertisement flyer, and I got a Steam key paper, and that was it. That was what was in there.
Stop it.
Yeah, so I think that PC is moving towards that, definitely. I think that...
And faster on that one, just because of Steam. Because digital sales on PC equals Steam. That's what this equation comes
And
out
publishers are realizing, okay, I don't have to print out a disc. I can just give them a Steam key. Why don't I just do that?
But at the same time, as was pointed out in the chat, is like the ability to give gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts are more fun when there's something to unwrap, which is a valid point. And and a lot of gifts are physical. And like, I'm not good at it, but I like people unwrapping the things that I gave them.
I agree. I'm not good at wrapping. I've gotten better. It's funny because I usually wrap like all the gifts, and depending on what gift it is, like if it's a gift card, obviously, like I'm just get a little gift bag or whatever.
Right.
But I wrapped like all the Christmas presents this last year, and it wasn't great. You could see which one was mine.
I like the gift bags, and then putting the tissue paper in it. That's fun.
I think it's fun, and I also, maybe this is just me, but I like, depending on the bag that you give the person, it can be reused.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's really
cool. That is not depending on the bag you.
No, I mean, like,
unless you set it on fire, it can be reused.
Well, what I mean is, like, you may need to take that tissue paper and the bag and everything, and then use it next Christmas or next Easter or Hanukkah.
The tissue paper is for kazoos.
Okay.
Then you throw it away,
I guess.
But the bags themselves can be reused, and there's one that has like this little is little kid sitting like with a box or something, like huge glasses, and it just says dork, nerd, geek, and that one's been cycling through my family for like the past 3 years. I don't know what we're gonna do after that, but I like
that's cool.
I like that bag, and I want more of those, but that's the only one we've been able to find so far.
I think that I agree, because the unwrapping thing, the surprises, that's really cool. The only thing that I think trumps that is if you can get into a situation where it's hidden in some way and it's not wrapped, which I did to my nephew. Go ahead and if you have a story.
So, hey girls, if you're watching this someday, don't watch it yet. Well, never mind. You can watch it now. Okay, so Santa Claus actually called last Christmas, 2 Christmases ago,
and
told them that he had put Lego Batman 3 on the PlayStation, and asked them if they'd gotten to it yet, and they were like, "That's there."
Yeah.
And then we went in and
cool.
it had just popped up on the screen while they were sleeping.
And
I thought that was really cool of Santa to reach out and just.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. This wasn't Santa. This was actually me. I sold my dad wanted to give my nephew something for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I was going to upgrade my Xbox One.
Right.
So he bought that off of me.
Yeah.
So what I did was I drove over there Christmas morning before my nephew woke up.
So like 3?
No, because he's 9. So
okay.
He'll sleep in. Drove over there, I think at like 8 or 8:30. And really quickly I took his Xbox 360, unplugged it, plugged and hooked up the Xbox One in the exact place.
Nice.
They're both black, so it looked similar. Finished it, and I think like 5 or 10 minutes later, he woke up because we kind of he could hear and we were kind of prompting him.
Right.
Comes out and I'm like, hey, you want to play some Xbox? Because we play games together.
Right.
And he looks around. He's like, I don't see my Xbox controller. And I was like, oh, here you go. I handed the Xbox One controller, and he goes. And it was like a perfect reaction
awesome.
of like, this is here, and then realizing, oh, that's mine. But then he was like, but wait, where's mine? Like it's hooked up in your room. Like it's like a playroom. Like it's hooked up over there. So
backwards compatibility. Kid.
I think that works. That too. Backwards compatibility. But
I do like that.
But yeah, I agree. I think that the majority of people are still buying physical. I think that part of them are the ones who will always buy physical. Like Chris, I prefer to buy digital.
Same.
But the sales that we're getting on, I prefer proper games physical unless I can get a really good sale on them. Now I'm getting Amazon.
Too noisy.
Yeah, mine's a little noisy. I'm actually considering that's one of the reasons I'm actually considering it the Pro is
Same.
just for that.
Yep.
Because the Amazon deals, getting the game for $51 instead of $60 and getting it right the day when it comes out. I mean, it's a great deal, so I'll grab those for ones that are just now coming out. But I think we're going to move more and more to digital because it's cheaper for the developers and publishers.
And they actually managed to get more of the money to the developers and the publishers, and that's kind of my thing.
It solves one of the problems that we've had with video games, which is video games have stayed around the same price. And you're getting games that cost more and more to make, but they're still at that same exact price tag. So I think that giving more money to the developers as well as a variant scale, I think is important, which I think we're getting towards when it comes to digital sales. So I think it's a good thing. I personally would like to see continued AAA games to be put as physical. For the people who prefer that medium, I would like to see I would like to see a discount for digital.
The thing about the AAA physical is like the space on the shelf is something that's important to them. But I'm able to find weirder stuff in digital.
You are,
and that's as kind of.
But the average person is going there to play the next Madden, the next Call of Duty, the next big thing. And like I mentioned, Bethesda games get thrown in there, Nintendo games get thrown in there. I think that will continue for multiple reasons, but I think that should continue to be a thing.
I would be really interested in physical versus digital as far as Nintendo specifically goes. And they didn't go this granular, but like Nintendo is very heavily into the physical side of it, and I think it'll be especially interesting with the switch back to cartridge and the additional cost and things like that as far as the Switch goes, as well as the difficulty of transporting multiple games as opposed to throwing them all on an SD card.
Yeah, which I will say that the Switch move to physical has been amazing for this. I personally wish, I've got the SD card and everything, so I think that's good, but I wish there was more onboard memory for the digital purchases, but the speed of loading in that, and the fact that we're in a digital age now where we don't think about those things is phenomenal. And then the last bit of news is that they had some statistics on single use device. They had mobile, tablet, PC, and console, which I thought it was really weird they divided it up this way because to me, mobile and tablet it's the same thing.
because what you can play on what you can play on this, you can play on the tablet, and when you buy it on this, you have it on the tablet. So I don't understand that distinction if you're not going to separate the consoles. But what they were talking about is people who play exclusively on one of those types of devices. So the PC gamers, the mobile gamers, the console gamers.
I think that it makes sense if they split mobile into mobile versus tablet, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that does make sense for the interface. To me, yeah, because the sale is pretty much the same. The hardware is pretty much the same, but how many people have a cell phone and bring it around with them, and that's where they play games? And how many people have an iPad or an Android tablet that may hang out like next to their couch that they play? Yeah. I think that is a different environment because I don't see anybody I don't know a lot of people other than work people who bring like an iPad or an Android tablet with them everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, and I'll stop after this, is the demographics of those two I don't see as different. Like if you play on tablet, I feel like you probably play on mobile. But I feel like there's too much. I feel like there's too much crossover there for that to be significant in this particular aspect, because they were talking about people who play. I think it was only like 16% play on all three. PC, mobile, or all four, I guess.
PC, console, mobile, tablet.
Yes.
See, and tablet to mobile is different. Like, to me, I think of it as like a mammal and animal and mammal. So everybody who I guarantee everybody who plays on a tablet also plays on a mobile.
Right.
But not everybody who plays on mobile plays on tablet.
Yeah.
I think there's a distinction there. But in regards to that player base,
right,
I would agree that they're very similar.
Yeah. So they said that I think it was like 45 or something % play on two. I would like to have mobile and tablet squished together and then see how those numbers change, mm-hmm. because I think the number of people who play on who cross over on those two. Mm-hmm. Wipe that out and see how many people do other ones, because I do console.
How many people play on console, PC, and mobile?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think
I do all three.
Right. You do all three. I do one, and I don't really play on mobile. I'm playing on something on mobile right now because my co-driver does. Mm-hmm. and gives me something to click.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing it for almost 4 days, but I think I'm done.
So my mobile games though aren't like I played Candy Crush for a little bit because I found it interesting, mm-hmm. but that wore off pretty quick. But my mobile games are like
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, too. Yeah, but that's also a PC, and like I'm logging into my Hearthstone account on my phone, but I could then go play it on PC.
Right, and so it's just an extension of your ability to play.
Yeah,
which
I don't play the average. I don't play Angry Birds and stuff.
But that's kind of the beauty of the Switch, is like
take it everywhere.
Pick it up.
Take it everywhere.
So lots of interesting statistics in there. Let us know in the comments what you play on,
yep.
And we will see you next time.